Welcome in the name of Jesus. God bless you. And I love you so much. Um, the word today is they're shocked that you choose not to be bitter, but you were better. Okay? You choose not to be bitter, but you got better than where they left you before. My father said something that loyalty is a choice, and you cannot really, you know, change the actions of people, but you could decide to, change how you respond or react to situations. And that helped me a lot because even God says in Deuteronomy 30 that He has placed before us life and death. He prays that we choose life that we might live. There are times where people feel us, people, disappoint us when you feel like life was going all smoothly and suddenly things started working out not in your favor. Maybe you have been building a relationship with somebody, investing, and maybe they just left you without any explanation. Yes, it breaks you, but you refuse to give in to how they reacted, but you choose, or you refuse to give in to what they did, but you choose to see the positive side of that situation. Yes, it hurt. It got you to that point where it broke you. But the truth is, you decided, you chose on how to react or to respond concerning that particular situation. And it really shocked them because a lot of people, they know that when they hurt you or put you in a place of pain, they want you to continue being in that position where you keep grieving, where you keep mourning. But the truth is, you had understood a lot of things and you decided to, you know, not match their energy. You decided to look in and you gave yourself to be better built. You told yourself it was a lesson and you learned and you became better. And yes, it shocked them because you did not stay bitter. You did not stay in that place where you felt, you know, belittled, forgotten. But you choose to be happy and you worked on yourself and you appreciated what happened. And trust me, where you are right now, you are better. You're not bitter because you understood that sometimes letting go is accepting to embrace the new things that have to come your way. But they haven't understood this. So they were expecting you to keep being angry, keep being worried, keep reacting to the kind of energy that they gave you. They thought you were going to fight back, you were going to, react in a terrible manner, but you stayed calm. You stayed calm. You trusted the process and you learned and you worked on yourself, and now they cannot believe it. They cannot believe that you are not angry at them. They cannot believe that you are not blaming them. Yes, they cannot believe that you decided not to see it as a negative thing, but you choose positivity. A lot of people have their perspective on how to see things and why they do certain things. But the truth is, when you have a better understanding, you do things differently. Because when you decide to stay bitter, or when you decide to keep blaming others for what happened, you never see a reason to move. You never see the opportunities ahead of you. But because you decided to be better and not bitter, This is what is triggering them. This is what is making them, terrified. Like they're in this place where they're regretting, like, after all we did to this person, and this person could not just react, but this person has grown better than we left them. We thought we put you in a place where you will be, crippled, you'll be stranded. But instead of you being crippled or stranded, no, you built yourself silently. You took a bold step. You trusted God. You trusted the process. You asked God to heal your heart. Because sometimes letting go means that you want to be healed. And when you let go, you became healed. And you trust me, when you're healed from your heart, you could start taking better decisions. You could start telling yourself, or getting yourself to this position where you stop making the same mistakes. You can stop reacting or responding to people's bad energy, but you would decide what you have to do or how you need to respond. Okay? Because, loyalty or faithfulness is a decision. And some people will decide not to be loyal, but it doesn't change or it doesn't stop you from being loyal, because some people do not understand. Okay, so you deciding to get better was a choice. And trust me, this was the best choice. This was the best choice. And they're frustrated. They are devastated. They are wanting to understand what even gave you the bold courage to take that kind of step without breaking, without losing your mind, without cursing them, without fighting, or without throwing negative words at them. A lot of people want us to always react to their rubbish, want us to always, match our energy with what is not necessary. And you got to this point where you understood that not every battle or not every thing deserve your reaction or your energy, because your words, your energy is power that you needed to divert it to something that could bring you positive, result. And when you understood and you were calm, when someone is shouting at you and you decide to be calm, it makes that person so terrified. And in this point, you decided to be calm. You decided to be still. You decided just to watch and observe and not to talk. And this got them, crazy. Like, I've been doing this, I've been shouting the whole time, and this person is so quiet. Am I a fool? So, you doing this, you being calm, made them, furious. Like, they didn't know what to do. Like, I've been hurting this person, but it seems like I'm not hurting this person. So this person is so calm. So I don't know how to trigger them. I don't know how to make them react. But you stayed silent, you stayed calm. You choose to be better rather than to be bitter. You choose to know to do something better with your own life than where they left you. It might be a relationship that you have been pouring out everything, putting in everything, trying to build a future with somebody. It might be one day this person suddenly just leave you. And the person thought you were going to come back, trying to call and react and start doing a lot of drama. But no, you stayed calm and you told God you enjoyed the process and you let go. And now you're better. You're restarted and everything now is falling in alignment, because sometimes some of those things were never God's will. Some of those things were just a temporary position. And you choosing to move on from that makes you more intelligent, makes you more smart. Because the truth is sometimes some people will want you to be stuck in a current situation or in a past situation that maybe you have grown above that. Maybe your reasoning is better than that. Maybe you have outgrown them. So it's not because they didn't hurt you, but it's because you decided to see things. You decided not to react the way they wanted you to react. And this has made them understood their limits, their boundaries, and they don't know how to trigger you. They don't know how to trigger you. So whenever they see you, they come calm. It's drama because they cannot trigger you. Choose to be to what you expect. You choose to, love yourself the more, improve on yourself, and not to blame and curse people when they're being hurt or when they're going through a certain they begin to blame themselves and they stay stuck in that past situation. But the truth is you move faster than they thought. You move faster than they could even think about it. The actions steal your peace because you knew that you needed your peace and your peace was precious. Sometimes people will trigger you, people will do a lot of things to make you react and to lose your peace and your focus. But when you stay calm, they get confused. When you choose to respond and not to react, come on, it makes them lose their mind. So you decided to see things differently from the way they saw things. You do not look at things from their perspective, but you glance it from another point of view. And yet they haven't understood that there is so much of goodness in you that you cannot afford to keep matching negative energy. There is so much of, better things ahead of you that you cannot keep being stuck in what is not necessary. Okay? Because all along, sometimes some people want us to remain at that situation or at that current level where we never amount to anything. But when we look past that, when we get matured or we look beyond what they do and we decide to, see things and move in a different direction, it makes them feel so ashamed. It makes them feel so terrified, devastated. It makes them feel so forgotten, like their actions and their energy doesn't have anything to do with your intentions or the way you see things. Hallelujah. Someone might hurt you or someone might betray you, thinking that you will stop doing good, you will stop, doing what you do because they betray you. But when you saw it as something that happened because they had lack of understanding and wisdom, you refuse to, let that reaction or let that action really stop you from being who you are. And you keep doing what you do because your personality does not require you to keep matching what people do not understand. And trust me, it happens a lot of time to most people. Might be your life, you've been, living life and working things out, and you thought everything was going smoothly, and suddenly things began to fail. People began to betray you, felt like you had been forgotten by life, by God even. You felt like you've been betrayed by everyone. And then at this point, you sat down and you breathe, you sat calm and you rethink and you decided not to break, but to stand up and to get better and to see from a different angle, from a different point of view. And to you look at the errors and try to correct some certain mistakes. And this makes you different. This makes you different. This makes you, you know, not like others. This makes people want to find out what makes you decide to be happy even when people try to make you angry. What makes you to be calm even when people are yelling, are shouting to make you react, but you have disciplined yourself to stay more calm and to observe, to learn, and to see things differently. And that is why they cannot understand when to trigger you or when not to trigger you, when to get your attention or when not to get your attention. So they don't understand. And that is why they are so shocked. They are so confused. They're in this position where they feel so sorry, but they cannot approach you because you behave like they did nothing. When someone hurts you and you wave away that thing and you keep showing that person more love, that person becomes more scared. That person becomes more, confused. Like, yeah, I was expecting you to get angry, to get, carried away, but why are you showing me love when I decided to treat you this bad? And that's the difference. You decided to look at things differently. Okay. And this is what makes them shocked. This is what makes them completely, in this position where they keep asking themselves silently, a lot of question. They don't really know who you are. And they don't know your next move. They don't know what you're capable of doing. But the truth is, you're too much of a positive person. You're too much of a person that has chosen to see goodness even when people try to make it look difficult and make it look bad. You decided to see, love people hurt you. You decided to give them love and not to react corresponding to what they actually, gave you because your energy don't match. You cannot keep drinking. You cannot keep low because someone treated you badly. Because your nature is that you're a good person. And most people do not understand this. So every time they do a lot of things, they think we're in this position to react to that same energy, not knowing that we do not carry the same frequency of energy. Better and better. And trust me, they want to find out, they want to know in their time behind. And they have been wondering, like, who are you? Begging, or why didn't you come? Cursing, but you came showing them love after all that death. When Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and he became the governor, when he discovered that that was his brother, he showed them love. He cried. Though they betrayed him, but everything that he refused to respond to the way that they treated him or to react, but to show them kindness and love. He showed them that he was there for them. he went through that and only came better. So sometimes you have to decide not to be bitter, but you need to be better. Because when you become better, the enemy is confused. The people who hurt you will confused. In fact, things begin to move in your favor rather than, you know, might be just not moving in your favor. So when you let go, then things that people expected you to react, you don't react, but you respond. They expected you to, to lash out, but you decided to be calm. They expected you not to forgive, but you decided to forgive because you understood that forgiveness, peace is of essence. You only become, worse, but you decided to be better because you saw a brighter future ahead of you that they could not see. You saw better opportunities that they could not see. And trust me, because how you've grown matured and how you are different that is in you, it has shown how much of God's own actions. When people, try to for everything that you betrayed and leave you stranded. And what you did was you stayed silent, you prayed silence, you built silently, and you became even to fear you the more. And this is what have been doing. They refuse to be hurt by others. They refuse to stay in that the hurt. They got better. They got healed. They accepted it and they asked God to heal their hearts. And they moved on with grace and with peace. And they were grateful for that process. And now God has shown them something that is better. God has exposed them to people that accept them and love them for who they are. And this has changed your life and your scenario and how people see you and how see you and reverence you with honor. People no longer disrespect you because they have understood that you are not out for drama, because they have understood that you see things from a different point of view, because they have understood that your energy does not match their negative. Be you, because you have chosen to be you. Okay, to bring yourself low to their rubbish. We want you to, lower your self-esteem and to start responding to something that will drain your energy. Thing that is being done deserves you to react or deserves you to waste your energy, because your time, your energy is precious. And when you start knowing this, you start focusing your time, your energy, your attention to become better, to build yourself rather than to, because bitterness drains your energy. Okay, bitterness drains your energy. It keeps you stuck in the past and never to move. But because you decided to move, that you decided not to react, but to respond. Come on, has made a clear difference, has made you unique, has made you respected by those who wanted to disrespect you. When people start disrespecting you, just respect yourself the more. It will make them understand that you value yourself, you deserve self respect so they can mess with you. And because you have got into this place, they find it difficult called to just, you know, trigger you to find it, do certain things that will even hurt you because they don't know what to do. So you have left them confused. You have let them not in control. And you have been in control all along. Right?